Hello and welcome to the Superhero Hub. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and today we're going to be reviewing
Prison Break.
episode Fra, the Liar.
Fra? That's not even a number.
It's Croatian for free.
Okay.
Yeah. So, getting into this episode, it's evacuation time. Oh yes, it is.
Kind of.
Well, I thought this was a good one. Really, for me, the season could have gone one of two ways. Um, really, they could have done it like they did season one, or they could have done it how they did season three, and it looks as though they're kind of going through the season three thing. But really, this is like the first time that they've ever really been caught.
Yeah, I don't like that though.
Well, because season one, the whole season runs up to the break, and then the season finale, they get out. In season three, they try to escape, and then it kind of gets cooled off or whatever. Well, no, they try to escape, and then Michael and whatever his name is, I forget his name, get onto the roof, and there's a helicopter, and then they pull each other down, then they get captured, interrogated, put back into prison, then they end up escaping in the season finale again. And this one, 9 episodes for the season, 3 episodes in, they try to escape and they get caught.
Yeah, I mean, and we're skipping to the end here, but it's like, personally, I'd rather they would have got out. I don't need to spend more time in that prison, mostly because I don't like any of the characters bar Michael.
Well,
and I'm not into this thing with Lincoln either.
Well, I mean, to really get into it, I'll agree with you on that, because we know who Michael is, we know Michael, but really, because it's kind of, it is rushed, this whole escape thing, and like, whereas other seasons, they've spent about 5 or 6 episodes kind of hanging out in the prison, concocting a plan and stuff like that, and like talking to people and like friendships and stuff like that, so you kind of know the characters more. Really, we don't know anything about these characters. We barely have more than a couple conversations. We don't know the plan, you know what I mean? We're just thrown into it with like, look, there's a hole in the ceiling and we're going to get out that way. It's like we don't know the intricacies of the plan already.
Right, and we don't care about anyone, right? So when, I mean, we'll start at the beginning in a second, but at that point where they start to break out, and there's the Michael's, the kid goes first, right? And that's when they get caught, and Michael goes to the thing. I'm like, I might care more if I cared about who that kid was.
Yeah,
I don't. But I'm like, I don't know him, and I don't care about him.
Yeah, I don't really know the relevance of him either. It's
exactly.
like, why does he want him out? What's so important about him?
If that was the first season, it was one of his friends who they built up over the course of the season, then I might be more into it, but I just don't know this guy.
If it was like the first season and it was like Sucre or something like that, because Sucre was his, obviously, cellmate and stuff like that, if it went down like that and Sucre ended up getting left behind or something like that, it'd be like, oh my god, that's whack. But with this kid, it's like, I know he's gay, but literally that's it. All I know is that he's gay. So it's like, you know, is he like, does Michael know one of his family members or something like that? Is like, does he have to get out because he's like got information or something like that? Is he like a political figure or something like that, or is he just literally a kid that Michael's just thought, I'll help you escape because you're in the same prison cell as me? You know what I mean? At least the Korean guy, like he said, I need you out because once we get out of the fence, that's the first part. I need you for other stuff. You know what I mean? Stuff that only you're skilled in. So it's like, oh, okay, then that makes sense. But this kid, he's just a kid who I guess Michael feels bad for. And I mean, we've had them before. We've had 2 of them before, obviously, with Tweaker in the first season. And then in the third season in Sona, there was that little Colombian kid with the hair who's like bummed off American stuff, and he ended up helping them get out. They had them too, but bear in mind them, I mean, we had about 10 episodes apiece where we kind of got to know this kid, whereas this, it's like he's gay, and if he stays in there he's probably going to get messed up, even though that's pretty much what happened at the start of the episode, right? They're kind of, there's a big thing and he ends up helping him, and then it's like, then they end up falling out, and it's like, oh, I don't really care, and then it's a plan to steal the watch. See, the episode was pretty predictable in the sense that he jacks the watch, and I knew that he was going to end up in the prison cell. Like, it really is messed himself over in the sense that now he's gone from being sitting pretty to like now everyone wants to kill him. He's stuck in, like, I guess, solitary confinement, and literally all the big players have like turned on him, so he is literally screwed.
Yeah.
Which
So
is pretty dumb for a smart guy. I mean, he wouldn't normally let that happen.
is Lincoln gonna have to break into the prison to get him out?
Jesus Christ! See, again, I was thinking, like, with the third season, they end up escaping, but Teabag, Brad, and like a couple of other people who try escaping them, but obviously Michael double crosses them and leaves them in the prison, and they get out. And then off camera, in between season 3 and season 4, like the first episode of season 4, it's revealed there was a riot or whatever, and then everyone ended up like escaping in a riot and stuff like that. So that was their escape for that. So whether the kind of tension of the environment around them, and then like one of the walls blow up and stuff, that's kind of what I was expecting at the end of the episode, because you're always hearing the bombs going off. I was just expecting like the wall to get blown up and like it'd be a mass escape, because that's kind of what I'm thinking what may happen, because it's kind of they're reusing old stuff but tweaking it slightly.
Right, yeah, because we spoke last week, right, about how you kind of do this reboot stuff, and it's like a greatest hits of what you've done before. So they probably will do that, and they do keep on referencing how Yemen's going to fall anytime soon. So I guess that's probably what they're going to do.
The kind of outside stuff, really, the whole passport, like double crossing. Then you've got Cyclops. Because I was wondering why that guy was wearing glasses with only one lens, and then obviously it's revealed whatever is lost in eye, and then he tries it with what's the, I forget her name.
Yeah, me too, but you know what you're talking about.
The hot one. So,
Sure.
so yeah, then there's a kind of thing with that. I mean, they're developing the love interest thing there.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I'm not feeling this stuff. I'd rather Lincoln was in the prison.
I'm kind of interested in that, because it's like, what's happened to, like, because he was bumming around with Sophia, like from like season 3, like the Mexican girl, and he's got a son, and we ain't even seen or heard any of them. So it's like, what the hell is going on there? I mean, that's crazy. So they're completely forgotten about that. But yeah, they're pushing this love interest stuff, and then yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of and ahs, like they're gonna escape, and then they go to escape, and then they kind of put the watch in the other person's cell, everything gets locked down, blah blah blah, they escape, and then they get to the roof, and then they're captured, and what's his name, C-Note C is it, so I guess he's going to relay that they got captured. But really it's kind of interesting with their whole kind of what seems to be martial law, that they're just chuck them in solitary confinement, because now kind of really the question is, how are they going to escape?
Well, like you said, I think Yemen's going to fall and all hell's going to break loose, and they'll probably escape during that. The problem is, like, when are they going to do that? How are we going to have to sit through the entire season for that to happen?
I don't know, but it's interesting as well, because like when they're having the little fight or whatever, they bring up something about that guy's tied in with Poseidon or whatever, and it glances over at a couple like, you know, people, and then like obviously the other big plot lines back in like America, like Teabag's tracked down Sara, and it's like, I know about this, I know about that, blah blah blah. She kind of blows him off, her phone gets hacked. Still not hyped about her new husband. I still think he's 100% whack.
You're not meant to like him though, are you?
No, but it's just they're super pushing it. He annoys when he talks, he just annoys me. It's like, oh
yeah, I feel you, but I get it. That's the point of the character. He's in the way of Michael. Michael's the protagonist. You're not meant to like this dude. You're meant to want Michael to end up with his wife. So yeah, he's doing what he's meant to do. But yeah, they're playing that whole thing out with Sara, and she runs into Teabag randomly.
Oh, Teabag hunts her down. He's looking for her. So yeah, and then her phone gets hacked, and then the whole shop thing, and then Blondie and Baldy, like.
Oh, I can't believe they did it again. I mean, I can believe it, but they're just walking around doing doing whatever they want.
Yep.
Like they do the clothes thing and they start banging this guy's head on the and it's like, man, ring the police.
I would have dashed out. I would have just ran for it. So yeah, that was some craziness as well. And then they mentioned something about Poseidon, and then it turns out the person who hacked her phone is her because she left a thumbprint when she was with Paul Kellerman. So Paul Kellerman's being all booky again. It's like, come on, man. You know what I mean? They should have just left him good, you know what I mean? But it turns out he's up to something.
Well, he might be though, because he might still be good because Michael mentioned something interesting that actually, whether this is true or it's one of his lies, I don't know. But he mentioned that he's working for the government.
Yeah, I know. That's you got to figure that's what he's kind of up to. But like,
So is he and Paul? Is this all one big elaborate lie, and he's working with Kellerman?
well, the kind of thing is that, well, it'd be better if like Paul Kellerman come out and said that and work with them, because I mean the only time he'd do that is if there was some sort of loss of communication between them. But I mean, if he kind of clued her in, then obviously it's like, why are they hacking the phone? What are they hacking the phone for?
I have no
And
idea.
again, if it's like with the whole CIA thing, it's like, why does he? Because he said certain governments want the leader guy who they escape with, and then who they plan to escape with, and then he double crosses that guy. So it's like that he's in there to get this asset out, but then he ends up double crossing him and trying to leave him there. So it's like, what the hell's that about? And then he's focusing on getting the kid out. So really, what the hell is he in there for?
I have no
And then
idea.
they've got the kind of, I guess it's got to be something to do with the Korean guy, because I don't get what the Korean guy is like, an identity thief, and it's like after we get out, there's more stuff we need you for. So I don't know what that's about, or whether he needs to hack some stuff, or whether that's to do with the like passports and stuff like that. He's really kind of all over the place. Like, I've no idea. We still don't know why he's actually in there for. And then obviously he gets chucked in solitary confinement at the end and records a little message and he starts crying. That was good. You know, that he was actually crying quite convincingly. That was a pretty solid scene. And then yeah, he's kind of consulting their tattoos on his arm and stuff like that. It's like, there's way too many tattoos on there for him to just kind of. There must be something going on, but it's like, why is he? I get right. He's been put in the prison for a reason, but if he's not escaping with like the big guy, then what the hell's he supposed to be doing? Maybe the kid's like, I don't know, some like big political person's son or something like that. You know what I mean? He was thrown in there for whatever. So really, we don't know what the hell. There's a lot of red herrings, I guess, but really, until it's like explained to me properly, because it's all over the place. It's not because I'm dumb and I can't follow the things. I mean, I've got this, but really, it just makes no sense at the minute. Just by whoever this Poseidon group is or whatever, it's basically just like the company, except they're calling it Poseidon, I guess, and it's way all over the place. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Do you mean that in a good way or a bad way?
Um.
Because for me, I'm going to say bad way, because there's things I like, but to me the way they're telling the story is sloppy.
Yeah,
The red herring things work fine if this was the first season.
is way rushed.
Yeah,
And considering there's literally like 6 episodes left, I mean, they've been busted, they've been caught, so it's just going to be I think like the fact where they are is like a massive big plot device. You know what I mean? They're scuppered because where they are, like every time they try and do something, they're set back because of where they are in terms of Lincoln. And then what Teabag and Sara are going to do, like in America, them working together now, because she sends him to go see Paul Kellerman. So really, if they've been set back, and if it turns out one of the walls get blown up, it's like that's just like what kind of they've kind of made it to be really elaborate, but I think it's going to end up being really like obvious stuff, and it's going to be like, why kind of paint this trail to be really elaborate and cool and interesting, and it turned out to be real like
Right.
batty stuff.
They've made it seem to be elaborate, but A, it's too quick. B, they lost an episode because we didn't see Michael until the very end of the first one.
Yeah.
And it's like, in that first season, you can follow him throughout it as he lays out his plan, and as he meets each character and he assesses them over a time. Whereas with this, we don't know anyone.
Well, the thing is, in the first season, he's planned it all. His plan, literally, he knows everything about all the people he's going to meet and befriend before he kind of goes in there, because he knows John O'Brutes is like this big crime boss, and he know he can give him it because the whole thing is he's like, oh, I know where the snitch is who got you sent in here, and in return for that information, I know that you've got access to a private jet to this airfield, which is going to get us out when we escape. With Charles Westmoreland, it's like, oh, I'll put the pieces together and realise you're like DB Cooper and you've got millions of dollars of cash stashed somewhere, so I need you. And then there's like people like Teabag and Tweaker who come along and they're just like, he has to bring them on because to kind of keep the plan going. You know what I mean?
Right,
but with this, it's like
that might be the case here, but they're not showing us that.
Yeah.
Right. It's not. He might. Obviously, something's gone wrong with his plan now, but up until this point, he might have had everything laid out. He might have known exactly what he was doing. But in that first season, even though he says that to us, even though we know that going in, we're still meeting everyone as the show goes along, and we still get to know who they are. And we don't have that this time around.
And they're all kind of interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Teabag had kind of, he was just like a wild card, but he was interesting. John Abruzzi was kind of interesting and stuff like that because they needed all them together. And Sucre, I mean, it was funny because he only had a couple months left on his sentence but like his girlfriend was like marrying someone else. He decides, right, I've got to escape. If I get caught, I'm going to get another 10-year thrown on my sentence, but I can't wait 2 months, so I have to escape. You know what I mean? But with this, we don't know anything about him. Really, the only kind of person we know stuff about is the kind of Korean guy, because you got Michael getting pills for him and stuff like that, and like he explains that he's an identity thief and stuff like that, so it looks like he's gone into there and knows a lot about the Korean guy. But this little kid, it's like we know they're best buds, but it's like, why?
And why do we care? And we don't.
Exactly. So I mean, if they kind of went into it doing that, but it's a bit all over the place. I mean, if it turns out to be good, it turns out to be good, but really it could go either way. So let's talk numbers.
I'm gonna go with a 7. Like I said, there's still things I like. There are scenes I like. It's just as a cohesive thing, it's not working for me so far.
I completely agree with that, but I'll give it an 8 because I mean, really, it's kind of sets things up now, because it's like, okay, what's he gonna do now? Because really it's all over the place. You got to figure he's going to get, there's got to be, he can't just be thrown in like solitary. But this is like a rough place to be. He gets caught escaping, they throw him in solitary, and then what? They let him back into general population a couple days later. It's like, if they do that, that's what, there's got to be some sort of like big punishment for him, right? There's got to be. And if they kind of blow that off, and obviously now he's got all the big players after him, how's he going to get out of that one? It's literally all over the place right now. I mean, it could turn out to be real good, but if it's not like, if they don't do intricate stuff, if they just do like wrap it up in like 2 seconds with a real doofy thing, then I'm going to be disappointed, because it is better than that. You know what I mean? It's better than that, and at the moment I'll agree that they are sloppy, but who knows, they could pull it back. But at the moment it's kind of like, could go either way. So I mean, especially that they should know what works and what don't work, and to rush it like that is pretty batty. You know what I mean? They must have been able to get a better series order than like 9 episodes. It's like, why 9 episodes? Why not 10? You know what I mean? That stuff's completely random. I just don't get that either. So whether they had trouble getting extra episodes and thought, oh, we've got to rush this. But even then, if you got to rush it, don't bother doing it. You know what I mean? Again. So yeah, I'm Sam.
I'm Matt.
And we are never rushed. We give you it all perfectly with everything you need to know. That's our review of Prison Break. We'll see you in the next episode.